What's up, everybody? It's the news angle, bitch, and this is your boy D.
And it's your girl CJ.
I can't.
Yeah, D just
not
called
expecting
everybody
that.
a bitch.
I'm one of the bitches, Brandy. Yeah.
We could be bitches together.
We can be bitches together. The 3 Bs. We'll be. I'm so through. And T-Hoo, welcome back to our news episode that we started last week. Just in case you didn't know, we drop this every Monday at 9 a.m. I'm going to say that again at the end if you are still with us. Anywho, so this is our tiny little episode where we hit up all the current events in the news, in entertainment, and pop culture, and whatever have you. We got a few things already lined up. Mostly...
Lots of... What we finna talk about? CJ, tell me what we finna talk about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got him hyped with that highlighter talk.
I did, yeah. Talking about makeup. He don't know how to fucking act.
We're gonna do a video maybe. Maybe we should do a live where D's putting on makeup. I don't know.
If he actually like came to visit me, I could totally beat his face.
That would be so great. Oh my god, we should do that. Army, whatever, we could do it. Maybe that'll be one of the days when you guys are here for the wedding. Take a couple hours and
we're definitely gonna take advantage of the fact that the 3 of us are together, and we're gonna do like whatever we need to.
We're gonna go live online. That's what we need
to do something because it's once every Haley's Comet, we're all together.
Oh, Haley's Comet, yes, it is. It's fucking crazy.
Is.
So we're gonna start with like the crazy weather that's happening all over the place, and
you mean
fucking world,
natural disasters.
You mean Harp and Black Jesus?
Yes, Harp. So obviously, Puerto Rico has had earthquakes in the past few days. They started off with a magnitude 5.9, and the very next day they had a 6.4 magnitude earthquake, and it's pretty much all over devastation again. A lot of places just recovered from their last one. I actually watched a lady interviewing another woman who was like, we literally just put the finishing touches on our house last week from the last earthquake that happened. And she was like, and then my house is in crumbles again. And she was like, I don't know what to do. We just spent all the money on the house from the last time. And then, of course, on the other side of the world, the Philippines, volcanoes are erupting and causing like ruckus right now. Did you know there's 25 active volcanoes in the Philippines right now?
I didn't know that until I read about it.
That's so crazy. And like, yeah, and there's like 100 that the Smithsonian Institute has like named as like possible like eruptions that may happen or may not happen in our lifetime or whatever. But there's like quite a few. Because I remember like being, in Oki, like there were several occasions where volcanoes went off in the Philippines, like several while I was growing up. Like to the point where like there was one where the ashes were like going far, far out and into the ocean and all kinds of crazy shit.
Like, wasn't it one back in '92 that like closed the base, like Pinatubo or something like that?
Yeah, It
killed like a lot of people.
It was insane. So get this, right? I have a friend, I'm not going to name her. She's stuck in the Philippines right now because she went there with her kiddos for some kind of competition, and she's safe. And I've seen her on Facebook, and I was like, I can't believe she's stuck in the Philippines with the volcano going off. Guess where she lives though? She lives in Puerto Rico.
Shut the fuck up.
So when she leaves the Philippines, she's gonna have to go and see what kind of damage her home had. Like was
the epicenter like near her house, or
I don't know. Like I haven't talked to her. She hasn't been on Facebook in a couple of days, so I'm a little worried. But like she said they were all safe wherever they are in the Philippines, so that's really good.
And we hope everyone out there is just as safe as we can be, especially if we know you or you have family out there. Since we're all military brats and we just have people we know and love all over the place. Our hearts and blessings and whatever else we can send up to anybody who will listen is definitely with you, because that shit's crazy. My dad just got back from like helping out there, and he took a little video. He didn't take it for long because he was like, I don't want anybody thinking I'm like
about to post all this,
about to post it or making fun of them or anything like that. But he just couldn't believe it because he started doing mission trips and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which if anybody knows my dad, it's like, what? But with him being out there and just seeing it firsthand, it hit home more to have a personal video of it, because I think it's so easy to dismiss something, to kind of, oh, that's crazy, and repost about it, you know, in 5 minutes for that day, because it's not in the States. It seems like people in the world take things more seriously when it hits our home versus other places where they're like, well, Haiti's just used to it and Philippines are just used to it. And
they do.
Like, no, this is still a big deal. Everyone should still try to do what they can to help each other out.
Yeah. And you know what scares me the most is, even from the last earthquakes that happened last year, is a lot of this like help that we are sending are not going to the right places. Or like all those abandoned like trailers full of food and drinks, water, all of this. Like, I'm trying to figure out who the hell is in charge, because the help is not getting where it needs to. Like, it's so weird for me to think that the people who are helping, sending stuff out there, putting money in there, putting like products out there for them to have, it's not really helping them if they don't get it. Like,
right.
Which
probably the same people that ran that whole Fire Fest.
Probably.
All the Fire Fest coordinators are in charge.
No,
but I remember hearing from this lady. She was talking about all the food that they were receiving in Puerto Rico after that hurricane. And I remember her being like, do not send anything else. We have all the supplies we need that we're lacking in logistics. They have all the supplies. It can't leave the harbor. It's stuck here. We need to give it to the people. So it's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why there wasn't anything in place for that to be moved out swiftly. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I understand why people there were like, I don't think the U.S. cares about us. Even though, here's the thing. What was crazy while I was watching the news is that so many Americans do not know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
That is fucking nuts.
That is nuts.
I had somebody argue with me like, what
do you mean?
Why don't you don't have your passport? You never renewed your passport? You're going to Puerto Rico? Like, you don't need it. It's part of the U.S. Just go.
I can understand why people who are not military brat, not as cultured as we are, because I almost feel like when we're talking about these things, we're starting already up here.
Maybe. You might be right.
Versus stateside people with stateside education. A lot of them are used to growing up in the same neighborhood, around the same people doing the same things. And you end up in this bubble, even away from like Hawaii and Alaska, where it's like, it's just the States. It's just crazy, this mass. And I think that's where the disconnect is, because anything outside of the States, you can even Google it and people will ask, do I need my passport for Hawaii? Because they're not thinking like, oh, what do we cover? They're thinking, well, again, we've had passports since we've been 9. It's not crazy when you look at someone that has never traveled outside of the States. Anything outside of the States, they're going to think.
You know what's insane though? The education part is like for real, because me and Rob had like a naming the capital of the state contest because my kiddo was like testing us, and I think I got like 90% of it, while Rob missed almost all of it. And I'm just like,
and you've been living outside of the States for the majority of your life, which is the saddest part about it.
I didn't get here till I was almost 21, and that's why it's so like interesting to me, I guess, knowing that like in such a huge country, people know less about things that go on outside of their own space. Like, it's insane.
Absolutely. But it's because of how they're taught, and it's because of what the media wants to know. But that's a different topic for an actual triangle episode. We're here to give you some news.
Yes, news. So anyway, send help if you can. There's lots of great organizations that are collecting money or like water or rations or whatever. So if you look them up, make sure it's not crazy ones. I hate to say it, but I don't trust the Red Cross or the Salvation Army. So do your research before you send out your product. I think missionaries are way better than one of those big little, like almost like a box chain volunteer group. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do the Red Cross thing. It's so weird that they don't give out the money that they collect. It's only a percentage that goes to the people there.
And again, before CJ goes on another 15-minute rant, I'm tired as fuck as we're recording this, so we can get it.
We're going to go to the next one because my alarm went off. This is our little timer, so we can stay on track. Stay on track. Okay, next subject. Oh, here's one that I know Brandy has a lot to say. So Lizzo, Julian Michaels versus everybody. So Julian Michaels apparently went on AMPM or whatever that show is and has said something along the lines of why are we celebrating Lizzo and her body shape.
And for those who don't know Julian Michael, she was one of the trainers on The Biggest Loser when that was a super popular show on, I want to say, Fox or something like that. So she's a personal trainer who's used to basically being very tough on people and helping them get to their weight loss goals.
Yes. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Like, you know, she stood her ground on her second interview too, and she made a point to say something along the lines of, you know, it's not verbatim, but she was like, you know, no matter how you cut and dice it, like obesity is one of the leading causes of heart disease, diabetes, and things like that, even cancer.
And you know what? When it comes to people having something to say about somebody, I think her, and you know, that's her area of expertise. And if she's gonna have something to say about something like that, I would trust her word versus somebody else just talking shit. I don't think she was saying it to talk shit. I think she was just saying it from a health standpoint. At the same time, you know, that's who Lizzo is. She's comfortable with herself. That's cool. I feel that Julian was just stating how she felt about it.
Okay.
I don't think that's just my opinion on it.
What about you?
I think people cut her too hard for it, you know?
Yeah. What do you think, Brandy?
I'm probably just opposite side of the spectrum because as a woman, we're constantly told how we should be looking, we should be doing all the time by everybody, by other women, by men, and it's exhausting. On top of that, I have friends that are nowhere near Lizzo's size and they have diabetes because she made a comment about, well, it's all fun and games, so she has diabetes or something along that line. And I'm thinking,
I know she said all that.
Yeah, she
honey,
did.
She was going in.
She did.
So
she did.
It's
I
one
paraphrased like really short.
Yeah, it's one, you can, and again, do y'all research to see what she said. Because it's one thing to just across the board be like, hey, in general, I think we can all agree, be logical enough and non-emotional enough to agree it's not a good look for anybody to be bigger than what they should be as far as how much fat's on them. Everybody is not going to be a size 4. Everyone's not going to be a size 24. But I do know, even for myself, there's just some fat I don't need to have on me. However, that does not mean that Lizzo is a bit different. If Lizzo came out and was like, I struggle with this, I am having health issues, all this stuff going on, she could be way healthier than me and I'm like 3 times smaller than her, but it's easier to attack things that we can see, like somebody being bigger and then it's like, oh, you must not be healthy. You can't be, because when you're not shaped like the small white woman telling you how you should look, because I'm like, there's been plenty of other people with different body types or bigger or whatever out before Lizzo. So what's your problem with her, especially her music? Because I'm a fan, if you couldn't tell. So I like her lyrics. I like the body positivity train we're moving on here. And it's all, to me, it's more about wear what you want, look how you want, as long as you're healthy, mentally and physically. If you're healthy, what do I look like telling you what your body should be or criticizing you for it? Like, that's crazy.
So was she actually criticizing Lizzo, or was she just talking about in general? Everybody following?
I think it got along, because I'm in the middle of, I feel like I'm between both of you guys, because what she said on her, when she went and got her second interview, she also added in, which she didn't on the first one, was that, you know, she was like, I'm not saying because you're obese, you're not beautiful. I'm saying because you're obese, you are partial to these diseases. And that's not a false statement, because it's scientifically proven that you are more, I guess, adept to get something like diabetes.
More susceptible,
You're more susceptible. But the part that I feel like she left out is, what if these women who are in the body positive community are taking medication like, I don't know, like testosterone or something, and it makes them gain weight? You know what I mean? She completely left those people out too. So I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I understand what she's saying scientifically, but I also think that she lacked the empathy to realize that not all the people who are obese are obese because they chose to be, or are body positive at all. They might just be gaining weight because of medication or an illness, or you know what I mean. And she completely like
she left that out. And I don't want anybody to fall ill or die because of something going on with their health, something that's like preventable, like trying to get, you know, weight together or whatever help you can with that.
Right.
But in the same instance, while you're working on it, or maybe while you're not working on it, to have somebody like Lizzo come out with these positive messages and songs to help people love themselves where they're at right now more is more important than you going on a crusade about what you're talking about.
It's weird
like we said, CJ, because what she's saying health-wise ain't wrong. Like, I feel her on that, but you don't know Lizzo's receipts about her health, so leave her out of it.
That part. And it's weird to me because she did say that she liked her music and she liked the things that she did. It's just that she went on this course of like this path of talking about completely different things, because she's saying that we're celebrating just her body, and that's not what we're doing.
And that's not how, I don't feel like that's how the fans of her truly
the fans feel. Like, we're not celebrating her body. A lot of people don't even know like what her videos look like, because most of us listen to her on Spotify or any streaming service, you know what I mean? Like music videos are pretty much dead, if you ask me. Like, when's the last time you sat down and watched Top 20 on MTV? Like, come on, let's be real.
I don't even know they did that on MTV anymore.
Yeah, like, I don't have cable.
And if they do, it's like not like full videos anymore.
They don't show like, the whole video. Yeah,
no,
like
they do like a minute and a half of everything, because nobody is watching the fucking videos. Nobody cares unless you're like a super hardcore fan. You know what I mean? Like, to this day, all the last like Beyonce videos that came out in the last 10 years, I have not seen it in full effect at all. I don't care to see it. Like, I know that's like crazy and stuff, but I'm not like a Bey fan either. Like, I'll listen to some of her music.
Can you quit calling her Bey and call her B? Jesus Christ.
Bey. Anyway, next topic, and then we're gonna take a quick break. The BAFTA and Oscar nominations that seem to be colorblind. Well, not colorblind, can only see white.
White. With the extra W.
Look at the face, white. So for those of you who don't know, the BAFTA is the British Academy and Film and Television Arts Awards that they have. It's kind of like our Oscars. I feel like everybody's already talking about how all of the POC community people got like snubbed a lot. I think the only person here who got an Oscar was Awkwafina, the Asian girl.
Actually, she did not get a nomination. No? I heard that the woman who played Harriet got one for Best Actress.
Oh.
But that, I want to say that was it, because J-Lo didn't get it like they thought she was going to. I thought Joker cleaned up with like 11 or 12 nominations. So that took up a lot. But even with the Golden Globes, I found it fucking crazy that Margot Robbie, who starred in 2 different films, I think either her or Scarlett Johansson got nominated twice. And I'm like, so one of those couldn't go to a person of color because we weren't there.
It's a weird thing. Now, the BAFTA, I think, is even more, I don't know, vanilla because of where they're at.
Yeah, for sure.
just because I don't know that they're even.
And someone had pointed out that they never even, I want to say either with Denzel and maybe Idris and one other person.
They haven't, and I'm like, if
Idris was over there. They've never been nominated. No. And I'm just like, that is insane that it's just allowed to go on that long. But like we've said, if you decide to listen to Triangle episodes after you listen to this news angle, like we've said in a different episode, it's just still pushing that image that white people can be whatever, and Black people are going to be what we tell you need to be in these images. And you fit this trope, you fit this role, and that's all you can be. So you're not allowed to be the doctor, the hero, the princess, the this, the that. And they're playing any and everybody all the time.
I feel like...
and being rewarded for it.
And I think a lot of times if the POC, anybody is winning, a lot of times I feel like it's always been in supporting roles. They never give it to somebody who's like in
There was a list out like
or
that.
Some make me feel good role.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes. Like, give you just enough to give you hope, but like reel it back in before it's actually a win. You know what I
like
mean?
that. I like that D said the make you feel good role, because when you're really sitting back and thinking about it, we end up getting nominated. Even when Monique got her Oscar, and you're playing some like awful hood mama.
That's how you get it.
And I'm like, okay, is that all? Because I'm thinking bigger picture. Yes, understandably so. If you are taking certain content that goes to a certain neighborhood or whatever the case, it makes sense. Okay, these people are going to play these characters because anything else would be crazy, right? However, because we don't have the people in the writers' chairs as much as we need to, directing as much as we need to, just in these powerful positions so we can have complete creative control of our images, that's where a lot of this, I think, would stop, because it starts there with the creative process, and then we hire actors that can fill these roles. That way you're used to seeing somebody Indian that's playing the love interest. You're used to seeing the Asian who's playing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's not something that's just far-fetched.
And that's why, like, I know a lot of Black people gave Tyler Perry a hard time that he opened his own studio, and I don't understand it. It's just like all the other stuff that happens.
Me neither. Why were people so upset?
It's the same reason why we don't, in our own society, they don't support each other. Like I'm in a lot of like entrepreneurial groups online, just to, you know, have networking and whatever, and it's the worst groups are, I hate to say it, are the Black community groups, because there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of self-hate that we still need to work on, so it kind of spews out wrong. Because in the Black groups that I have, even just Black only or Black women's groups and stuff, a lot of times there are lots of beef going on in the commentary within the thing, and it's very rare to see that in groups that are predominantly white, because I think somewhere along the line white people figured out that business is business, and somehow our society still like entangles business and emotion and all of that because of the way we were raised.
I think that white people also do that too, because they get emotional, they get all of that. However, again, the world was made for you to win. So you can be emotional, you can be petty, you can be all that. But at the end of the day, they know we can all win. We are not with that same mentality because of a lot of stuff with slavery.
It's that scarcity mentality.
Okay, so they're only going to take one or two of us. So I got to be better than you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's where this.
Well, it's enough out here for everybody.
That scarcity mentality fucks with people, and so there's a lot of negative comments that I've read. Now there are some good ones out there that help women of color and stuff like that. I've been to like the business expos, and you know I've seen great things, but there's definitely a higher percentage of negative commenting going on in those groups than the other, and it's really sad to see. Because you would think that you want to support your own even more. Right. And that's the biggest thing with other societies, like even the Asian communities. They have their own shit. Every state that you go to, every major city has a J-town, a Chinatown, a K-town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of them, no matter where you go. You can go to places like Nebraska and still
they have it online.
Yes, yeah,
and it's impressive, because even something like the hair industry, Black people should have that, and we don't.
And Koreans got that shit locked.
They got that shit on.
It's starting to. Dallas just got some Black-owned businesses for hair, and it is legit. Like, I need to go check it out. But I've been following them on Facebook and Instagram, and it's really good. Like it's high society hair.
High society. When I watched that documentary, Chris Rock did, like the good hair, and he was laying out the number. Came out years ago, you guys. But he was laying out the numbers. And I was just like, that's really crazy. We don't have a bigger piece of that pie, considering nobody does hairstyles like we do.
So it's so crazy.
Personal hair.
It's so crazy to me that we are the ones who put the hairstyles into our hair or to our clients, but we're not the one providing the product to do that.
We're not the one running all these
things. Even here's the thing, like what kills me, and we got to wrap it up for a second, but what kills me the most is like things like Shea Moisture came out. It was like on Black payroll, Black clients, Black everything, Black owner. You know what I'm saying? Not anymore. They changed it up. They sold the company. It is no longer like all black. I mean, yeah, they're in Ulta now. You see them in Walmart and stuff. Yes, prices have gone down. But is that all we're looking for? That's
not
the whole...
my Walmart. I'm gonna talk to them. Like CJ said, the price is supposed to go down.
Really? Because
it was supposed to be some rollbacks to this motherfucker.
Pretty much, and ain't no rollbacks.
Because
where are my rollbacks?
Here, some of the bottles, some of the lines, the bottles are going for $7.98. It used to be like $15. It's almost half price. Yep. Craziness. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with a couple more topics. All right, we're back. So next topic, real quick. I think this won't even need 5 minutes, really, I think, is Australia fire. I know we talked about it a little bit, but update, over 180 people have been arrested. The clickbait was kind of misleading. So technically, they've been arresting people who've been starting fires in Australia since the beginning of 2019. And there's a lot more that came out recently with these fires. Also, my biggest thing is, because, you know, I'm a conspiracy theorist, they are trying to build a Hyperloop train situation going on. And the map, I'm going to post it on our Instagram. The map is the exact location of where all the fires are starting. And I'm trying to be
what a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
You want to know what another coincidence is?
Go ahead, D.
All of this is taking place. So me just now finding out that there have also been fires that have been going on in Australia, but we're just now finding out about it ever so conveniently when all this bullshit is happening.
Right.
In Iran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice distraction. Everybody knows people like animals more than they like Middle Eastern people.
Yeah. So like Iran's thing is crazy, like in connection with that, because, and I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this.
Right.
No. That was a horrible way to say it, but same way they like animals more than they like black people.
Yeah.
You know
listen, have you seen them cry over these dogs and walk over us?
Yeah, they will cry over some dogs. You can't remember the name of their
hey, I'm saying, don't kill the lion.
No, they'll remember your name if you play a sport. They know they sports players' names.
Oh, sports players.
But everybody at the job is going to be Keisha or Jamal. You got one.
Shut up, I can't. But no, for real though, like, so the Iran thing is crazy too. And I mean, maybe I'll dig around for it for next week, but like, the U.S. is the only country that's reporting that there were no soldiers killed by that attack. All the other countries around the world is doing double dose. So what I mean by that is they're reporting what the U.S. is reporting, where we're saying that nobody got killed by the attack. But Iran is saying that they hit like 80 soldiers, about 80 soldiers got killed. And like, I have screenshotted like news reports from around the world, including like Japan. I'm watching it live on TV and it's like crazy to me. Like, depending on where you live, you get different kinds of news.
Yeah. And then I think this is all crazy and perfect timing for the Trump campaign, because we were all focused on impeachment.
We sure were.
And it went from impeachment to World War III to Australia fires to these earthquake and volcanoes.
Convenient, right? And then we're talking about pushing back the impeachment process too because of it. Because Iran got attacked. Because
and I don't know if I was talking to y'all about it or somebody else, but we've never impeached anybody when a real war was popping off. No, that doesn't happen. We keep really your commander in chief. So we finna see.
We're finna see. I mean, you know, but really, I really wanted to get to now, because that was really quick, is this whole Prince Harry and Meghan Markle debacle that's happening right now in the UK over there. So y'all read the story like completely? Like
I read it completely. I heard 10
Okay,
minutes.
so I gotta say, like, I expected what I expected on that read. Yeah. Like, I screenshotted part of it. I mean, but, and I think I was telling.
Are you talking about what his mom? Oh, not his mom. Excuse me. Are you talking about what the Queen said, or?
No, just like them being in Britain in general. And like, I was telling one of y'all that, you know, there was a journalist who like compared their baby to a chimpanzee there.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
I was like fucking shocked. But here's the deal. Like, this is just a small snippet of what I was reading that I think maybe you had posted or somebody else had posted, but she was being called out for being almost straight out of Compton. Quote,
yes, I posted that. Couldn't believe that.
Or having exotic DNA. It's just
not the inbred DNA that they like.
Yeah, not the inbred shit that they like.
Yes, inbred. You're not my sister.
Here's a crazy one that I enjoyed, and I didn't know. I gotta stop eating avocados because apparently Meghan's avocado consumption is responsible for mass murder, while her charity cookbook was portrayed as somehow helping terrorists. Yep. And the list goes on. That was just a small snippet out of that article that got me like, what the fuck are they talking about?
And that's the news that they said. Because when I looked at it, I normally try to like read and then take a paragraph out of it because most people aren't gonna read nowadays. Yeah. But just reading everything that you just read, I was like, imagine what you go through on like the microaggression of it. Yes. You know what I mean? Like on a daily, let alone on a big scale. But just being in that palace with all these old motherfuckers that you already know is looking at you crazy.
All fucking inbred. All these royal ass inbred people.
Here's the thing though. Like,
with so much opinion about exotic DNA. That just pissed me off. I'm sorry.
I have a super theory about this. You guys ready for this?
What?
You guys ready for this? I don't think Prince Harry is Charles's son. I just sent you guys pictures. I don't know if you saw it, but I think he is the son of James Hewitt. James Hewitt was Princess Diana's writing instructor, and they had an affair. Like, this is like not a secret or anything. James Hewitt did an interview and all over the place and was like, yes, we had an affair. They used to meet at some fucking cottage that his mom Shirley had in Devon somewhere in Britain or whatever. Like, him and Princess Diana had an affair. And I think that is why they had no problem letting him go.
And that's why he doesn't look inbred.
He doesn't look like the rest of them. He doesn't look like the rest of them. Also, like, I think that's why they were okay with him marrying somebody who was not royalty. Also, again, right? And I think that's
maybe I would go with someone who wasn't black because I didn't think Catherine was royalty or Kate, whatever her name is.
No, but she came from high society.
Well, yeah, so we got someone who
Meghan Markle is like from Hollywood, and it's not the same thing.
She's an actress,
right? So she's not in the same category to them, I don't think.
I mean, I don't think it's because of society. I really think it's because she's black to them.
Well, that too.
I think that's higher on the ranking
But I think that's what I mean. I think it's a combination of things. I think that's why they didn't care that he married her. And I think that this was already in the works. I don't think it was just out of the blue. They were just waiting for the right timing. And I think they were going to like ride it out until it got too much for her mentality. And now I think it is too much for her because they had a child. I think
the way his military buddy is kind of spilling tea.
Oh, I saw that video.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
So here's my thing. I'm really... I don't know how to put this without sounding like a bitch or a crazy person. Like, I really hope that he doesn't get Dianed. You know what I mean?
No, I was scared when I heard he was talking because it's one thing to hear a source says. It's another thing to say, okay, it's already documented. This is his friend for real. Mm-hmm. They served together. So, you know, there's that camaraderie there. And I'm like, okay, I'm believing this off jump. And it does seem like something... Especially, I couldn't imagine that happening to my mom. It's a scarring situation, and you relive it every year on the anniversary, and it's just sensationalized. So that's even weird.
Because every year on the anniversary, now we even talk about it here in the U.S. Can you imagine what kind of like talk they do on the news over there? Like,
you're there, and I'm like, he can't even like miss his mom in peace. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
With his friend saying that, that's exactly what I thought about. Like, I hope you all make it out, cut ties, be like, nah, we don't need nothing for y'all, we good. We won't say nothing about anything we saw or heard, just leave us alone. Y'all stay over there, we stay over here. All right.
What were you saying about them finding bodies everywhere already? What were you saying about that?
Again, do y'all research. What? So this happened.
That's what Brandy was saying earlier.
No, this happened a while ago. Because when me and my sister first started really getting into all this, the world's been lying to us about everything. It was about 2009 or 10.
Uh-huh.
And I remember hearing about how the Queen had somebody, I don't know if it was one or two bodies, but they found on royal grounds a body stuffed into a tree trunk. And I'm like, there's no way. That's like, intense. If you even think about how fast rigor mortis can set in. what it would take to fold up a body. And on royal soil, you telling me that this, and then someone just finds it, but nobody knows
what happens.
That doesn't make sense.
There's like no security, right?
Yeah, right. That's my thing. It'd be different if this happened in like a weird Walmart somewhere. We'd be like, it's just another Tuesday. No.
Not just a Tuesday.
This ain't that. So after that, I just started looking up more things like different figures they have around there, different paintings they have, even like GPS in certain locations and seeing how it looks figuratively on a map and the images that come up. All that shit's weird as hell. Again, do your own research, lose sleep on your own time.
Look at these faces.
No, it's really fucked up.
He's like, No, and you know what else? Somebody said that, while I was like skimming through the articles, somebody wrote like, did she successfully deprogram him and got him to like wake up from whatever they were doing up there? Like, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
She's not stupid. She's very
considering she wasn't, to at least to me, because you never know with these things, but she didn't seem to be so high up the ladder and so deep in Hollywood. Where
because like the last thing she was doing was writing blogs and cookbooks and stuff.
She seemed like the type of actress, even when she was on Suits, that was like, I just like the role, but she doesn't want to play the gay. So she wasn't playing it up on red carpets and doing all the rest of the extra shit.
And she don't really need the money from them either, because she's well off. And that's why I was like, the Queen's speech, the Queen did a speech about it, right? And I feel like it was just a formality. Did you watch it? Like, no, I couldn't watch it because the only place that I could see it was on the Japanese cable, and it's annoying when I can hear the English and the Japanese people talking over, and I'm like, I can't. I'll just watch it later on YouTube or something.
No, I just read it out because I can't watch that shit at work. So I'm like, where's the article so I can
It's a little, I don't know.
And she was a little shady.
I mean,
she was dropping titles already. I was like, damn, girl, can you?
It's just, what's amazing? Isn't she like 93? She's 93.
Listen.
Yeah.
But like, whose fetus blood is she drinking though? Like, cause I don't.
The same one, that other person who's like almost 100 is
the Rockefellers and shit.
Man,
have you ever been to Walmart late at night and seen like the pictures of all the missing children? Yeah, theirs.
Oh no,
their blood.
And it's those same children they're taking those hearts from, because I think one of those old money people have like 2 heart transplants or something.
8.
I'm just like,
he had 9.
Is it 9?
It was 8.
8.
I think it was 9.
It
might have been 8. I know it was last time I checked. It was 8 until he passed away. It might have been.
He probably had one more before he passed.
Which is crazy because you know how long you have to be on that list to get a heart transplant. No matter.
Not if you have money.
Yeah. Money.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar bill, y'all.
You know what I forgot? You know what I was gonna mention earlier about Julian Michaels before we close this up in a minute. I remember her, and I had to look up the date. It was 2010. She does have a mouth on her because she does say crazy things. Because one of the things that she said was she didn't want to get pregnant because she didn't want to mess up her body. I remember that, and I looked it up, and I was right. I was like, it was her.
To be fair, that's not crazy because the way I'm working out, that's how I feel right now.
But it's what she said in context, though, and like it was a lot of backlash. And then, but she was cool that her lesbian.
Isn't she a?
Huh?
She's lesbian, right?
Yeah, she's lesbian, but her lesbian lover had a baby.
But she is. Boy. But she basically saying, I ain't carrying shit.
Yeah, she was like, you can carry.
She was like, she can carry.
She adopted a baby girl from Haiti.
Said that.
Yeah.
You can carry.
Yeah, she adopted. I mean, that's cool on her. I'm glad she adopted and everything, but I just remember thinking that was the craziest thing I've heard anybody say. And then I heard one of my best friend's wife-to-be say it, and I was like, man, people really do think like that.
No, women truly do.
They truly do. And I just, like.
But when we're judged so harshly on how we look, which is bringing it full circle back what
it probably has more to do with their mentality about that.
It does.
Than themselves
that, and then
alone.
They're looking at it like survival. And if you're known for your body, and let's just say your husband does cut up, in some people's heads, it's like, I got a better survival rate out here grabbing somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the baggage of a kid. If my body's still right and tight, as they say, I don't have to worry as much as the person who's slappy with 6 kids.
Oh my God.
Although both of them.
Shimochi Sensei told me that when I was 15 years old.
What'd she say?
Shimochi Sensei. She was like, because everybody was like, do you have kids, Shimochi Sensei? She was like, no. We're like, why? She's like, I don't want my stomach to get all messed up. I was like, see, ain't nothing new under the sun. She
Shimojo
said, fuck that shit.
I can't, Miss Shimoji. Oh my God, I wonder how she's doing. All our Oki friends that are listening, if you guys know what she's up to, let us know. Drop a line in our DMs or something. I'm really curious because she should be like 7,500 years old by now. Like she was already like in her 60s almost when we were.
She was in her 60s when we were in high school.
She's on her 10th like transplant and she's fine.
She's heart transplant. I'm done. She's rich though. She's rich. Anywho,
I don't know what she got.
I hope we covered everything. We did, and
yeah, we did.
It was fun.
We'll be back later. We want to keep this one short and sweet for your car ride to work or from work back to your house or something. So we just gonna call it quits, just like that. So we'll talk to you
just like that.
So tune in every week. Bye.
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 Bye.